Hello everybody. So today's video is going to be a Valentine's goodie video. So every year I have this like a little bit of a tradition that I started probably about 5 or 6 years ago. My kids are getting older, so I don't buy them gifts anymore. But I started making them treats. So stuff that I don't usually make very often. So today we're going to make them some Valentine's cake pops. So I'm outside of Michael's right now. I need to get a few supplies. So that's what we're doing in today's video. I think I'm just going to shape them with my hands. These molds are kind of expensive and it's not quite giving what I want them to, but I do need to find some sticks for them. I think I'm just going to decorate them with what I have. So I think that might be all I needed. So let's get started with the video. I had gotten up super early to put the cake together and bake it, so it was nice and cool for the video. So all I'm doing here is just mixing it up and putting it in the cake pan. My cake pan is discolored because it's one of those, I think it's an aluminum pan, baking pan, and I accidentally put it in the dishwasher not realizing it was going to discolor it. So it still works great, just looks discolored. So that's all I'm doing right here is just cooking the cake and getting it ready for later. I will link the cake recipe that I used. It was just a very basic chocolate cake recipe. Nothing fancy, just very, very basic. So I will link that and put it in the description box for you. Okay, so that was this morning that I made this cake. I think I said that in the video. I went and cooled it off and put some saran wrap on it until I had more time this afternoon to finish this. So I will have the chocolate cake recipe that I used in the description box. It's just a basic chocolate cake. So I'm going to take this and put it into this bowl. Just going to break it up a bit. So literally all I'm doing is breaking it up into pieces like this. I'm going to have to wash my hands. Okay, let me wash my hands and then we'll make the icing that goes in the inside. Okay, so let's make the icing. Icing is the binder for the cake pop. So this is something I'm just going to, I don't have a recipe for this. I'm just going to wing it. Making icing really isn't that difficult. So it's about half a cup. I don't want to make too much because you don't need a lot. So let's start with half a cup. And then some butter. I'll taste it in a little bit here and make sure that the flavor is good. And some vanilla. And when I'm making icing, I like to use heavy cream. I do use milk on occasion if I don't have heavy cream, but heavy cream gives the icing like a creamy texture. So I'm just going to add about a teaspoon to a tablespoon. I'm going to mix this up and then we'll give it a taste and see. Most times I'll add salt to this, just a little bit, but we'll see. Probably should have done this in a deeper bowl. Okay, I can tell already I need more cream. It's going everywhere. I'm going to add a little bit more icing sugar because I realize that this isn't making quite enough. I'm probably going to need a little bit more for the amount of cake that we have. So I'm going to make probably double this. I figured it would make a little bit more. I think I'm going to wait for the butter just because butter is pretty powerful in icing here. So I'm going to give it a taste and see if it needs more butter. Okay. Just wipe some of this up. I got it everywhere. Okay, let me get a spoon. The butter's perfect. I'm glad I didn't stick more in. It does need some salt though. I find adding salt into my icing balances out the sweetness. Just a little pinch. I might add a little bit more cream too. We'll see. I'm going to use the back of the spoon here. That's better. It does need a little bit more cream though. I want this to be a little bit softer of an icing, just because we're going to be mixing it with this, with the cake. The salt was needed. I probably could even use a little bit more. I think that's good. Okay. Let me clean up a little bit of my mess here, and then we're going to add this into that. Oh, there it is. Cake pops are actually super simple to make. They look intimidating, but they're really not. They're actually really, really simple. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of cake in here. Hopefully this is enough icing. If not, we'll make more. My kids are so excited about this. I was trying to keep it a surprise. Didn't end up being a surprise. They know I haven't made these for them in probably 2 years. Maybe, yeah, I'd say about 2 years. I was gonna say maybe 3, but I think it's been about 2. I made them for one of my Christmas boxes the one year. Okay, hopefully that's enough. We'll see. You don't want the cake mixture, once all this is mixed in, to be too thick or too runny. Otherwise, they won't stick together. Okay, see if I can do this without getting cake everywhere. The icing acts basically as a binder. Okay, so let's make sure. Oh yes, this is perfect. See how it'll hold its shape? Okay, let me get a plate and we'll start forming the balls. I also have some red melts. I'm going to melt a little bit of those so we can dip the sticks in them so they stick to the cake pop. Okay. Let's get some of our red melts that I went and bought. I don't want to melt all of these right now, just because I only need enough to stick the sticks in the inside right now. So I just want to melt enough to put the sticks in. I do like to form my cake pops and then put them in the freezer just to harden them up a bit before I dip them in the chocolate. Okay, I'm gonna go melt this and I'll be right back. Ooh, that's a little hot. Let's mix it around with one of my sticks. Here, just a little bit in there. Okay. Now this is all preference. How big you want to make your cake pops. I literally just roll them into a ball. I know you can buy molds for these as well. So like that. And then I'm going to stick my cake pop stick right in the middle. We're going to stick it there like that. And we're going to repeat the process. We'll see how many of these make. I like to stick the chocolate into the cake pop. I've made these so many times without them. And when I go to dip them in the chocolate later, because even though I freeze these, it doesn't always turn out nice because sometimes the sticks will pop out. And then you lose the whole cake pop inside the chocolate and you gotta try and fish it out, and not pleasant. So I find using melts is super fast, and it allows them to adhere to the chocolate cake really well. I bought milk chocolate to dip these in. Sometimes I do white, sometimes I do dark, just depends. That. Okay, I'm going to finish putting the rest of these together off camera, and I'll show you when they're done. Okay guys, so I finally finished them. I think it only took me about 10 minutes, maybe 15. So altogether we got 25 cake pops out of those one cake that we made. So I'm going to stick these in the freezer and harden them up, and then we will cover them in chocolate and decorate them. So the cake pops are almost done. So we're going to cut up some chocolate. This is one of my soup cups that I usually take for lunch or whatever, or when I had a different job. It seals and perfect size for soup. Anyways, so I'm going to do it in this, melt it in this, just so I can dip it nicely. So I have milk chocolate. I've been working on my tempering skills, tempering chocolate. I still don't have it mastered, but I'm getting close. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to need. So I'm thinking on just chopping up all of it. It does take quite a bit of chocolate to cover them, so we'll see. You want to use chocolate that has cocoa butter in it. Don't use chocolate chips. They don't set right. Learned that one the hard way. So while I'm melting this, I'm going to melt this in the microwave. Sometimes I do it on a double boiler. Today I'm going to melt them in the microwave. You want to do it on 30-second increments. Stir, put it on another 30 seconds. And then the one thing I realized I was doing wrong was after the chocolate's melted, you cool it down for a couple minutes by stirring it. And then you add in some more chocolate and melt it off the heat. And apparently that's supposed to temper the chocolate. So I think all these years that's what I've been doing wrong. So we're going to see. I like to pull the cake pops out right before I dip them, just so they don't thaw, because they thaw very fast. Okay, so I'm going to leave half for putting in afterwards, after the chocolate's melted. I'm doing that step of it. Yeah, I think it was smart to bring all of these. If I do run out of milk chocolate, I do have 1 bar of white chocolate left over from Christmas that I can use. So we'll see. Hopefully this is enough. If you guys have any tips for tempering chocolate, I am all ears. It's one of my downfalls. I wouldn't say downfalls, something I'm working on. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one set aside, and I'm going to go melt this in 30-second increments, and I will be right back. Okay, I have a dilemma. I burnt the milk chocolate. I'm kind of annoyed about it, but it is what it is. So all I have left in my cupboard is the white. I have, let's see here. I have 1 of these of the semi-sweet, and then we have the melts. So I'm going to do what I can with all 3 of these. That's why I've got several different containers here. So I'm going to put the milk chocolate in this one, what's left of it. I had it 90% melted, and I put it in, and I hit 1 minute instead of 30 seconds, and I burnt it. So we're going to start over. So I'm going to cut up the semi-sweet, and I'm just going to do as much as I can with all of these. I think between this, the white, and if I have to use some of the melts, it should be fine. I had contemplated going back to the store and buying some more, but This gives me a good opportunity to use all of them, and they get several different kinds of chocolate. So this is the semi-sweet I'm cutting up. Make sure I don't overcook this one. Like that. I think I'm going to melt these one at a time, just so that they don't harden while I'm trying to dip them all. So let's do the semi-sweet first. I'm just cutting these chunks up smaller so that they'll melt nicer when it comes out. Okay, let's start with the semi-sweet, see how much that does. I'm going to go melt this 30-second increments, and I'm determined not to burn this. I'll be right back. Okay, the semi-sweet is melted. Just want to cool it off a little bit. Didn't make very much, so we'll see. So now we add this in. I've read so many recipes on how to temper chocolate properly. And then we just mix it until it melts. And let that sit for a second, let it melt. So one of the tricks I have is taking one of my loaf pans and a block of flour foam, sticking it in, and using it to insert the cake pops after they've got chocolate on them. Help these melt. I'm going to put some parchment paper under it, just because sometimes the chocolate drips around too. So I'll have to scrape it off my counter. Just got a couple lumps left, and then we can start trying to cover a couple of them. Cake pops out, nice and hard. I'm happy I didn't burn this one. Okay, let's test it. Oh, some of them are frozen to the plate. See, they stay nice. So all I'm doing is covering the entire cake pop. Let a lot of the chocolate drip off. Like that. So I have some of these sprinkles from Christmas time. Just gonna put a few of them on it. I brought out my container of cake decorating stuff just in case I needed any of it. We'll see, now that I've burnt the milk chocolate, I might not need to use any of it. We'll see. I think these will still be delicious though. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. So I think I'm going to do it over the parchment paper. Like that. You don't need to add sprinkles on them at all. This is just something I wanted to do. Like that. I'm not going to add sprinkles to all of them, just a few. When you're doing round cake pops like this, it is easier to dip them in a more narrow container like this. These are setting up super fast, which is a good thing. I might have tempered them properly. I think I might have enough for one more. Let's see. Whew, this is going to be close. I don't know if I'm going to have enough chocolate. If I don't, I will go get more, but we'll see. It did give me an opportunity to use some of the chocolate that I had left over from Christmas, so that's a good thing. Oh, that one didn't turn out so nice. It looks funny. Let's see here. See if I can smooth it out. The chocolate inside the container is starting to harden up. Let's add some sprinkles on that one too. Okay, I think I'm going to melt this little bit of milk chocolate. I'm probably only going to get 1 or 2 dipped out of this, but let's melt this, not burn it. Just getting all the lumps out here. We'll cover as many as we can in here. Let some of it drip off. I'm not going to stick sprinkles on all of them though. Do this fairly quickly so it doesn't harden. Putting the cold cake pop into the chocolate makes it harden a little faster. I think I might have been right. I'll cover about 2 of them. There we go. Not the prettiest chocolate job, but oh, hold on, it's starting to drip on the one side. There we go. Okay, I think we're going to do some melts, because I think that's what most of this is going to be covered with. So I'm going to fill this and we're going to cover as many as we can with it. I am going to find some red food coloring for us to put into this. These are very, very pink. They're supposed to be red. So I'm going to add some gel food coloring to try and make them a little bit more red. So I have a tiny bit of milk chocolate left here. So I'm just going to attempt this. Oh, those are the melts. That looks nice. Okay. That turned out better than I thought it was going to. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go get the other melts. Okay, so the melts are nice and melted. Chocolate melts. So I have red gel food coloring here. I like to use gel because it doesn't thin out your mixtures. I'm going to try and make this a lot more red. Hopefully this doesn't thicken up the chocolate. Might need to melt it again a little bit after. Yep, I'm going to. I can feel it. Yep, it's starting to thicken up. Okay, so I'm going to go melt this in the microwave again, and I will be right back. Okay, so I was trying to avoid having to go to the store, but the food coloring really thickened this up. So I'm going to have to go buy some more chocolate. So I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I'm back from the store. I'm kind of happy I went to the store. The chocolate was on sale, and I got 6 of them. They were really good price. So I'm pretty sure we have more than enough chocolate now. So I'm going to chop these up and melt them, and then we'll get on to continuing to cover the cake pops. Okay, got it melted, not burnt. I have some extra chocolate here I saved. Oh, I dropped a bunch. Stir it till it mixes and melts. I have chocolate everywhere. So I only cut up 4 out of the 6 bars that I bought. I still have 2 more. So I just didn't want to make too much chocolate. Okay, I'm going to give that a minute to melt the lumps. And we're going to get the cake pops back out of the freezer. Okay, now we can finish covering them. This should be a little easier because there's a lot more chocolate in the cup. A lot more liquidy. So on most of these milk chocolate ones, I think I'm going to, ooh, chocolate all over my hand. I think I'm going to melt some of the white chocolate and drizzle it on top for decoration. I think it did enough with sprinkles on them. Sprinkles isn't everybody's favorite. So much faster when there's a lot more chocolate in the cup. Hopefully I have enough chocolate. Yeah, some of them are dripping a little bit. I need to get more of it off before I put it on. And then I'm going to melt some of the white and we'll do some drizzles on a few of them. If I run out of room on my flour foam there, I'll just take off the ones that are already set and put them on parchment paper. The first 6 that we did are already set, since I had to go to the store in between. This is going so much better. Accidents happen. It's part of baking. And I purposely didn't edit out that I burnt the chocolate because I wanted you guys to see that, you know, accidents happen and we just go with the flow. These ones are a little smoother because the chocolate's not as thin, or thick I meant. And like I said, there's more chocolate in the cup. So I'm going to finish this last one here, and then I'm going to cover the last 11 of them off camera. And I will chop up the white chocolate and melt it, and then we'll do some decorating on top of them. So I will be right back as soon as I have the rest of them finished. Okay, so I got them all covered, and I melted just a little bit of the white chocolate. Some of them look pretty plain. I'm trying to choose the ones that are still setting, aren't still setting. So all I'm going to do is the same as I did with the milk chocolate. We're just going to kind of stripe it over it. Kind of like that. We're not going to do every single one. I'm just going to do a few. I might add a little bit of sprinkles to some of these, just to give it a little bit of variation. Let's add some sprinkles to this one. I messed up the top a little bit. Like that. I can hear sprinkles rolling on my floor. Let's do a couple more. I try to make the bands somewhat even, but it's not easy to do with chocolate. I'm going to attempt to get this one out of the middle here. It's not completely set yet. There we go. I think that looks pretty. See if I can get it back in the hole without tipping it all over. Do a couple of these ones. My kids are patiently waiting for me to finish and for them to be all done. I told them probably by after dinner it'd be fine. Where did I just take this one from? Right here. Okay, then I think I'm going to take one of these semi-sweet ones. I've already got milk chocolate on it, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of white to it too. Give it a little bit of dimension. There we go. And let's do a few more. I was going to do this with the red melts, but that didn't go according to plan, so backup plan, we'll use white chocolate. I figured red would have looked nicer for Valentine's Day, but it's okay. I'm going to try. Dipping in white on top. Where did I just get this from? Like, and let's grab one of these ones. And then I think that's good. We'll leave the rest of them plain, because not everybody likes sprinkles and other chocolate, right? Have variety there. There we go. I think this is about what I'm going to do. Actually, let's dip one more in chocolate just so it's even. I thought I would give you guys a close-up look before we go. Put some sprinkles on those ones. These are the ones that didn't cover so nicely. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Turned out better than I had expected. A little different than I had anticipated, but it looks great. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys try the recipe, because I've been making this recipe for a while, years, like I said before, and it's a family favorite. So I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.